Hello lovelies, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time of stopping by. Hi, nice meeting you for this first time. Please consider subscribing to my channel. To my old subscribers, I say thank you for all your support. So I got a comment from one of my subscribers that she need a tutorial on this style, and I am bringing it to you guys today. Without wasting so much time, let's get into the video and I'll see you at the end of the video. So for this style, we'll be making use of our pattern paper for the drafting. And for this, I'm going to go ahead and insert my horizontal measurement, right? Yes, that's the horizontal measurement. And because of the beginning of my pattern paper is not straight, there's a fold there. So that's why I'm making a straight line to get a straight starting point. And from that point, I'm going to go ahead and mark my bust point at 10 inches. Remember, this is not a fitted gown, so you are not marking for a fitted whatever. And then the next thing I'm going to mark is my half length, which is my waistline. And then I'm going to go ahead and mark my hip measurement. So my bust point is 10 inches, my waist half length is 70, my hip is 23 or 24, and then the length. So because my fabric is not up to 60 inches, I am marking at what I have there, but the length of the gown is 60 inches. So if you can go ahead, if you're making for short, you can go ahead and mark the length of your style of your measurement, and then remember to add about 2 inches for your hemming, or how much you normally use for your hemming. I'm just going ahead to connect all the lines that I just marked. So I'm just going to ahead to label this so that you guys can understand what we are doing. That's the bust, the waist, the hip, and then the full length of the fabric. Remember, this is not my full length. So I'm going to go ahead and insert my measurement. And for this, I'm starting with my neckline. And for this, I marked at 3 inches for the width. And then for the depth, I marked at 1 inch. Okay, I forgot to mention we are cutting our back. So like I was saying, we are marking our back bodies first. Remember this, I forgot to mention it as we started the measurement. So the first line measurement I marked is half of my shoulder measurement, sorry, plus half inch allowance because it's going to have a sleeve. And I went ahead to mark the same measurement at my bust line so that I can get a straight line just like you see me do. The next thing I did is to mark 1 inch down for my shoulder slope, and I'm going to go ahead and connect it into my neckline. Then as my bust point, I'm going to insert my bust measurement divided by 4, and I made a point there. So I'm going to go ahead and use my curve to connect it into my shoulder line, just like I do. If you don't have your French curve, please make use of your free hand. So you know how we've already marked our bust point. The next thing I'm going to mark is 1 inch for ease. Remember, it's not a fitted gown. Then 1.5 inches for allowance. This allowance doesn't have any formula. Just add as much as you want, or as much as you want. Then at my waistline, I'm going to do the same. My waist divided by 4, then plus 1 inch for ease, and then 1.5 inches for allowance. Then hip divided by 4 plus 1 inch for ease, sorry, plus 1.5 inches for allowance. That's what I did for my bust, my waist, and my hip. Then I'm going to go ahead and connect these lines, these points I just made. Remember how much free you want it to be depends on you, but for me, you see how my own is. I just added 1 inch, and then from my hip line, I'm going to make a line straight. Looking at this now, I don't think it's straight, but what I did is just to mark the line straight to where my gown stops, from my hip line, from my hip measurement straight all the way straight to my hemline. And that's all for the back bodies, right, for now. If you haven't subscribed to my channel up to this moment, please take 1 minute to subscribe to my channel. I have beautiful tutorials on this channel for children, not really few, adult styles as well. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video or you are enjoying this video. Then for our front bodies, the first thing I did is to mark out 2.5 inches I'll measure it so that you guys can see. Then I'm going to place my back bodies at that 2.5 inches, just like you see me do. Then I'm going to go ahead and trace my back neckline onto the front one, onto the front bodies. Then I'm going to, for the front neck depth, I marked at 2.5 inches. And that's all for the front bodies. Basically all for the front bodies. I'm going to go ahead and shape the front body. Remember the 1 inch that we used to take out from our front bodies. If you haven't seen me do it before, please check out. I do it mostly in my videos recently, almost every one of them, including children's own that doesn't really need it. Most times I do it. What you have to do is to measure your shoulder to your bust area. What you have, divide it into two. At that point, just go in by 1/2 inch at that point and then connect it. I hope you understand this. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. But for the neckline, we are not going to cut it the way we cut our front neckline. It's going to affect the affect it when we want to attach our collar. So what I will do is to fold it in, just like you see me do. Try and fold the 2.5 inches that you marked. This 2.5 inches is for our bottom. Then I'm just marking out my the 2.5 inches neckline depth I marked. So with my French curve, I'm going to go ahead and use it to connect my round front neckline. I hope you understand this. Then I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. If you don't do this, if you cut it wide open, it's going to affect your neckline when you want to attach your collar and when you want to fold it for your button. So by the time you are done folding your button, if there's any excess there, you just trim it off. It's better that way that you have limited fabric. So for our then for the collar, what I'm going to do first is to measure the front neckline and also the back neckline. Let's just assume that we've already joined the two shoulders together. So you're going to do this after you are done joining the shoulders together. I'm just doing it just to show you guys how to do it. So when you are done joining the shoulders, what you do is to fold the front neckline into two and then measure one of it, and then fold the back neckline as well into two and measure one of it. I hope you understand this. I have a tutorial on the detailed video on this. I'm going to leave it in the description box. Please check it out. So what I did is just to mark a straight line and then mark a point. It doesn't necessarily mean the center point. Just make a point that is enough that will be enough for the front and the back neckline. So I labeled it front and then back. So from that front neckline, I'm going to be marking. From that point I made, I'm going to be marking the neckline, half of the front neckline. Remember, you folded it into two before marking. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark that measurement I have. For instance, if your front neckline is 14 inches, by the time you fold it to measure, you have 7 inches. So that's what I marked. And I'll do the same thing for the back neckline. I marked half of it then. Then from the front neckline point I marked, I'm going up by 1/2 inch at that point. And then from there, I'm going to make a curve to meet the center point that I marked, the point I marked at the center of that we first marked, just like I am showing you guys. Just go ahead and do the same. So from this new point that I just marked, that's where you start taking your measurement or how wide or you want your collar to be. For me, I am marking at 1 inch and I'm not adding my allowances then here. So you're marking from the 1/2 inch up, you slant it all the way to the original line for the back one, just like you see me do. Please go ahead and do the same thing. My allowance will be added when I want to transfer it to my fabric. But if you like, you can add your allowances here. Add 1/2 inch all round except for the center front. So I'm going to go ahead and connect this line as well. It's not going to be a so straight line. I slanted it just a little bit. And then for the back one will be a straight line. And that's all for the collar. I'm going to leave, like just like I said, it's a detailed video on this, how to attach it, how to cut, how to attach it on my in the description box. Please check it out. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. When I'm transfer it to my fabric, I'm going to add allowances all around. But for the center front, there we are not going to add any allowance on that place. Just every other side except for the center front. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, give me a thumbs up. I believe you can be able to join it together if you want to sew it right. If you have any question on how to sew it or how to stitch it down, if you get confused in any point, please leave a comment under this same video so that I will know that this is the one you are talking about, and I will clarify you as much as I can. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.